like, yes, put some respect on my name. I got African in my blood. Like, that's how I feel. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to A Purposeful Pursuit. I'm Crystal, and I'm excited because today I'm talking about visas, y'all. If you did not know, Ricky and I are planning to move to South Africa. This is an amazing God journey that we are on. Faith, purpose, all that. And we're taking you on the journey with us. Now, if you did not know, we planning to move in like basically 9 months at this point because we're planning to move by August. And so we're getting a lot of things in order. Today I'm going to be talking about visas for moving to South Africa. I'll be talking in the context in general, but just so you know, I am coming from the United States. So that's where we'll be coming from. But yeah, so if you want to see more of our journey, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. Here on the channel, you're going to get all things purpose, faith, wife life, I'm a wife, mom life, those types of things on this channel. And now even specifically a lot of things pertaining to our faith journey as we prepare to move to South Africa. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you did not know, to travel to another country, you need a passport. The only exception to this is sometimes when you're going onto a cruise ship, but that's a whole nother discussion situation. If you have questions about that, I can let you know. Me and Ricky love traveling. Ricky and I love traveling. And yeah, that's a whole different thing. If you're flying to another country, you need a passport. What is a visa? How does it differ? And I'm going to go over this part a little quickly, but I want to make sure I'm just, starting from the beginning. Definitely going to get more detail later, talking about the specific type of visa that Ricky and I are looking into getting at this point in time. But yeah, so a visa takes up a whole page in your passport as opposed to when you're going somewhere and they just put a little stamp upon entry and upon exit. So a visa is something that takes up a whole page in your passport, and they are going to put a certain amount of days. So for this particular one, it was a tourist visa that allowed me to enter and exit the country of India. I want to say for like 90 days. Certain countries require you to apply for a tourist visa before you even show up. Certain countries will allow you to get your tourist visa when you get there. India, when I was going to specifically Hyderabad, required us to apply for our visa before we got there. And it was a 90-day tourist visa. Tourist visas are like kind of the easiest type of visa to get because it just means I'm coming on like vacation or on holiday. We are making progress because as you saw, we went and applied for Mr. Handsome's passport. He was the last person in our family that still needed a passport. He didn't have one. So we got his passport stuff sent off. So hopefully that comes back early January, which is good. Well, probably mid-January it will be back. Processing time is taking a while now here in the States for passports because when you get a passport, you have to have enough time left on before your passport would expire for the amount of time that you want to have your visa for. So we would like to be able to get a 1 to 3 year visa for when we go to South Africa. And so that means that everybody's passport has to have at least 3 years in 6 months technically, because it can't expire within 6 months of like travel or your visa. So technically everybody's passport needs to have at least 3 years and 6 months worth of validity for us to apply for the visa that we will be applying for when we move to South Africa. So we're making progress. There are multiple steps involved to getting to move to South Africa. And so I won't say it's crunch time because you won't say 8 months and then say crunch time. Like that seems like an oxymoron a little bit. But it's a little bit of crunch time because we're trying to move a whole family to South Africa in the next like 8 months basically. It's 9, 8, Anyways, so what type of visa are Ricky and I looking to get? So there are all types of visas. One of the easiest visas to get is a digital nomad visa. Unfortunately, South Africa does not currently offer digital nomad visas. What is a digital nomad visa? A digital nomad visa is a visa that will allow you to go live in another country while still working remotely from the country that you are from. So it'd be like if Ricky and I had online jobs working for whatever company, and we just picked up our family and we moved and lived in another country. We're still getting paid from our home country. We still pay taxes from our home country. We still do everything as far as work and income is related from our home country, but we just live in another country. A lot of countries are opening those types of digital nomad visas up, and it's really helpful and beneficial, but South Africa does not have that. Like I said, I did read somewhere where they are planning to get the digital nomad visa, but they're not exactly sure when they will have it, exactly how long it will take to, get that into action. But they did announce that they were looking into starting to get that made available. So yes, there's that. But obviously, like I said, it's not an option for us right now. So there are 3 other different visa types that we are currently looking into. And I'll name 4. 3 that we're really looking into. There's a 4th possibility. It's not really the route that I'm necessarily trying to take, but we'll get there. So the first one is a permanent residency for South Africa independent person visa. Now, this type of visa is a visa that requires someone to have a minimum net worth of 12 million rands. Okay, so 12 million rands. It's a lot of money. But how many US dollars is that? It's about 820,000 US dollars. And that's still a lot of money. And it typically takes about 8 months for them to process this type of visa. I'm sure they're checking your accounts and making sure, you have this money. Somebody's not just dumping it in and they're going to take it back out, or, I don't know, whatever. So this is a type of visa, and the benefits to having it is, 1, you have $820,000. That's a benefit in life, okay? But, so we don't have that right now, but, I'm looking at all the ways that God can do all the things that God can do. So, but that's benefit number 1. You got $820,000. And the next thing is some advantages. You can reside, work, study, and start a business in South Africa. So that's absolutely awesome. There's no age requirement. It's open to all, and it's open to all nationalities. It's valid indefinitely, so that is big. So that would mean that Ricky and I, we plan to move to South Africa, like I said, about 1 to 3 years, or even it could be 1 to 5, but then we want to move to other countries after that. We are people that love sharing the love of God. We love spreading the word of God. We love helping people understand their purpose and their identity. And we want to travel around the world and help people to do that. And one of the ways we also feel like that is best done is by immersing ourselves into people's cultures, into people's communities, and doing life with them so we can journey with them as we're helping them discover and understand their purpose and their identity and helping them transform their life. And so we want to move to multiple countries and be able to do that. But what if we fall in love with South Africa so much, which we already have fallen in love with South Africa so much, Johannesburg. And so it's like, what if we want to go back and live there again? After we travel for a while, we want to just go settle there. This is a visa that is valid indefinitely, so we will always be able to go back, whether we're in between countries, whether we're deciding that, we want to retire and settle there for good. So that's really good that we wouldn't have to reapply. Another great thing, dependents can be included. If I get approved for it, or if Ricky gets approved for it, automatically we can bring our family, we can bring our kids, or the other persons. Now, when it comes to getting your visa here in the States, there are 3 hubs that you can go to. I want to say one is in DC, one is in Texas, and I don't know where the other one is. I'm gonna assume the West Coast, maybe California or somewhere. I can't say for sure, but we are going to be having to travel to DC for a week when we plan to go and apply for our actual visas, and with Ricky and the kids and all of us. And the reason that we will be going for that whole week is because if they end up needing more paperwork or anything like that, we will be there to be able to provide it for them, not trying to go back and forth. So we're going to make our appointments. We're going to go there for a whole week to DC. We have family, friends that we can stay with while we are there to just get everything, you know, sent off, get all the paperwork done, all the applications, everything that we need to do. So there's that. So we're not going to be flying to South Africa to do it or, you know, mailing it. We're going to go in person to DC. Proof of identification. You have to do a medical exam. That's going to be true for all of the visas that are long-term. Provide original police clearance certificate. So I believe it's for up to 18 months or something like that. They want to see that you have no police record, which is fine. Ricky and I don't have police records, so we're not worried about that. We have to pay an application fee of 120 rands. Y'all, how much is that? I'm about to tell you. 120 rands. So about $6,700, $6,700 is the application fee for this. And most of the visas don't cost this much, but this is the big boy. And then once the application is granted, you have to enter South Africa at least once every 3 years. So yeah, that is the independent person's visa, which again is like on the list, but that's just because, you know, I'm keeping all the options open, and you know, if God want to do what God want to do, I'm not turning down $820,000. So the next application, which now we're getting into some that are probably more, I won't say realistic, because I feel like anything, God could do anything. But the next application is the retired person's visa. Now, the retired person's visa is one where you don't work in the country of South Africa. You don't run a business in the country of South Africa, but you have to have 37,000 rands coming in on a monthly basis. And so 37,000 rands is about $2,055 US. And then you also will need an additional 3,000 rands for every dependent. And so there's 4 of us. So one person would get approved, another 3,000 rands for each additional person. Basically puts us at about $2,500 per month is what we would need to be approved for this visa, this retired person's visa. Now, with the retired person visa, you have to have this $2,500, and it just can't come from any job source. So you can't be working online and saying, oh, well, I have $2,500 a month, and so now I'm doing retirement visa. No, it cannot be connected to any type of job. But what it can be connected to is like a retirement fund or investment fund or anything like that. And so Ricky and I own a house. And so maybe it can be that we use our home as a rental property to be able to have that income that comes in every month for that minimum $2,500 a month. Now, obviously, we're using that for that. We're not going to be able to live off of that, because then we still, as the rental owners, we have to pay for property stuff and things like that. But that would be allowing us to acquire the visa, because Ricky and I have non-work like forms of income that we already come into us, because like I'm a writer, and so we make money each month off of the books that I write, off of the books that he actually writes. He has journals and things as well, and so we have money that's not related to jobs that we can still have that's coming in each month. So I do need to do more research to see even if they will count the money that we're making from doing these books and things, because again, it's not a job, that we can use that as part of our income towards our retirement income, because really they're monitoring the way that you're getting the money that you're getting. And so that's one of the things. And also we get paid to do YouTube, so you know, that's one thing. But that rolls into the other type of visa, the last type of visa that I'm going to tell you about, business visa. One of the things that they want is for you to have 5 million rand to be able to invest initially, like into the economy, for coming with your business visa, which is about $277,000 US dollars. These are big numbers. They are not playing any games. So $277,000 US dollars, this is the thing. There are certain businesses that are allowed to have a waiver to not need that much money, and depending on the business category, you can actually apply for business visa for as little as like $5,000. Now it just so happens to be that Ricky and I run a production company, and the production company falls under like the creative arts like type business visas that are allowed to have the business waiver to be able to get the business visa for less money. So again, that is another business visa type that we are looking into. Ricky and I love doing film work. I personally am, and Ricky honestly too, but we're thinking and looking into being able to do a documentary where we talk about Africa, where we talk about South Africa, but honestly even other parts of Africa as well. But I really feel this, I would say, burden in my heart to help people in America see a true picture and understanding of what it is to be an African, of what it is to be of African descent, to see more of South Africa, starting in South Africa, see the beauty of what that country is, and to see the beauty of what the continent of Africa is as a whole. I feel like we've gotten a very distorted picture here in the States. I know nothing that I was taught in textbooks reflect what I encountered when I came and when I visited South Africa. And so I want the truth to come out, about my people. Now I see is my people. And I say that, and that's a big thing, because honestly, here in the States, when you were younger and people would say like, oh, you're African, like you're just, this African, like honestly, they would say it as kind of like an insult. And it's because we had such limited knowledge about what Africa looked like, what African people look like, the pictures and things that we were shown of Africa. Everybody was just poor. Nobody had clean water. Nobody had food. Like it was just so very untrue. And I feel like I'm excited that, one, I got to go for myself and see South Africa, and I look forward to seeing more places in the country of Africa. I've also been to Nairobi, Kenya, and it's beautiful there as well. But I look forward to just doing a documentary and even writing several pieces of work to help our African people, even here in the States, to be proud of our heritage, our culture, where we come from, because it is not an insult at all to say that I am African. It is an honor. It is a level up. Like, yes, put some respect on my name. I got African in my blood. Like, that's how I feel. So, I'm excited to just share more information and share more truth with, like I said, Americans, so that they can see and understand the truth about Africa. So that's something that we could do through our film production company. And if you didn't know, it's called Pursue to Destiny Productions. That is the name of our company. But yes, so that is the other visa. And then I told you there's one more visa that's not really what I'm trying to do, but Ricky and I do have qualifications that could fall into this category, and that is the critical skills visa. And the critical skills visa is where you are coming to work in the country at a particular job because you have a skill set. You're qualified in a particular skill set from degrees, from universities and things that would allow you to get a job at these particular fields of interest. And so Ricky has a master's degree. I have my bachelor's degree. We both have degrees that allow us to fall in some of the categories that are on the current critical skills needs list. And so that is something that we technically could do. I'm keeping my options open. I know that my heart's desire is to make it to South Africa. And so, yes, those are some of the visas. I know there was a lot. It takes a lot. It's I didn't even know this video would be this long. I thought it would maybe be like 10 minutes. So if you're still here, thank you. But yeah, so that is where we are in the process of looking for visas. Like I said, we're going to be soon sending off Ricky and Rain's passports, and then once we get everything back, that is when we're going to really start looking into applying for our actual visas. So really choosing one and then applying, because it's not just like a 2-day process. Like once you apply, at minimum it's gonna still take at least 4 to 6 weeks, for them to approve the visa. So we have a lot of things to do ahead of us, but it's exciting because we know we're on the path and tracking to do what we believe God is telling us to do. So again, if you want to stick around for this journey, hear more about our faith journey, see God's hand in the midst and move and do what he's gonna do to get us where he told us to go, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the updates. And if you missed some of the other videos where I talked about just how this journey started, all of those things, make sure that you click the videos that I will have on this end screen or one of the links in the bio. And until next time,